Hi, my name's Ruth Donnelly. I am a translator from Spanish to English, and I'd like to read you a sample of my translation of Matilde, which is a children's novel by Carola Martinez Arroyo. The book is set in Chile in the 1970s, so when the Pinochet dictatorship was in full swing, and Matilde is an 8-year-old girl whose father is one of the disappeared. So she lives on her own with her mother and her grandmother. And the story is just about the problems that engenders for her, really. It's a really beautiful story. And the chapter I'm going to read you is chapter 10, which I think gives a really good idea of the poignancy of the tale. Chapter 10. Today is a spring cleaning day. Grandma is sorting out the back bedroom. She tidies it, bringing out bags and bags of junk. She makes the bed with sheets and a blanket. Matilde helps her. She's happy. She has a secret hope, but she can't tell anyone. Grandma sweeps the room, brings in a chair, folds a towel. Who's coming? Don't be nosy, Matilde. She waits a while, then asks again. No one's coming. Now go and play, and take that cat with you. It's messing up the sheets. Mum comes home tired and calls for Matilde while she's putting on her nightie. A friend is coming to stay. Nobody can know he's here. Understood, Matilde? You're a big girl now, and we're not going to lie to you or hide him from you, but it has to be a secret. OK, Mum. Matilde is disappointed. This whole time she's been waiting for the surprise, for them to say, your dad's coming. But no. And not only that, the guest isn't even someone she knows. Even so, when she gets home the next day, she runs straight to the back bedroom, but there's no one there yet. She sits in the living room to wait. She's nervous. She has so many questions. What will he be like? Maybe he's bad and that's why they have to hide him. But if he's bad, how come Grandma's letting him stay here? The guest arrives very late at night. Matilde is half asleep, but she hears movements outside her room. She hears murmurs, the clinking of teaspoons against cups. In the morning, she gets up and goes straight to see. It's a man, not old, but not young either. He looks at her, smiling. So you're the Jet's little girl. You've got his eyes. She's not quite sure where the lump in her throat comes from, but it won't go away, and suddenly she's crying and crying. She can't stop. Grandma and Mum come running to see what the matter is, and they find the two of them, Matilde and the guest, in each other's arms, crying rivers. Don't cry, little one, the man says to her over and over, stroking her hair. He loved you so much. The man in the back bedroom is very kind. He's a school teacher, but he hasn't given classes for a long time. He writes and writes in his notebooks with tiny handwriting, and he reads some really serious-looking books. Matilde's mum is pleased to see him. They talk until late every night, and Auntie Andrea and Matilde's godfather come and talk too. Grandma brings them tea and leaves them to it. Sometimes Matilde stays and listens on her godfather's lap. Other times, Grandma takes her by the hand and leads her to bed. Matilde wants to hear what they're talking about. Not knowing makes her feel uncomfortable. Grandma, how long have you known Guido? Oh, a long time, Matty, since he was 9. He was a school friend of your dad's. He moved to the south in the end, but they always kept in touch. Grandma, are the soldiers looking for him? Matilda asks in a whisper. Yes, Matty, we have to hide him because they're looking for him. Grandma leaves the room, her eyes filling with tears. Matilde stays where she is and makes a mental list of everything she knows. Her dad was taken by the soldiers that night when she and her mum escaped. Her dad is being kept somewhere and he's not allowed to leave. Her mum hasn't seen him since either. She's gone somewhere to ask after him hundreds of times, but no one ever has any answers for her. Her dad isn't the only one. There are lots of others. Guido sits on the bed and asks Matilde to read to him. But I'm not very good at reading. That's okay, just try. Do you have children? Yes, a little girl. What's her name? Violetta. She's about your age, but she's living in Sweden now with her mum. I haven't seen her for a long time. Why does she live in Sweden? Because they had to escape and they went into exile. Is exile in Sweden? No, I mean they were exiled. Matilde nods her head, but she doesn't understand. Why didn't you go with them? It's very difficult to explain, Matilde. Just try. I can't. Guido lies back and closes his eyes. A tear rolls down his cheek. Matilde stands up and leaves the room. Every time she asks a question, it always ends in tears. What was my dad like when he was little? He was great fun. He was the best runner in the neighbourhood too. He ran like a madman. He'd win all the races. We used to say he had wings on his feet. But even that couldn't save him in the end. Guido, is my dad dead? I don't know, Matty. So why do you talk about him as if he was? Guido looks right into her eyes for a while. He takes her hand and tells her a story. It's a very nice story. It's about a little mouse who liked to show off. Afterwards, he gives her a kiss on the forehead and asks her to go. He says he's tired and he wants to sleep for a while. The next day, Matilde gets up and goes straight to see Guido. But when she gets to his room, she sees the bed neatly made up. "Grandma!" She runs into the kitchen. "Guido's gone!" she sobs. "Sweetheart, he left last night. He's going to be okay, don't worry. Honestly, he's going to be okay." "But that's not why I'm crying, Grandma. It's because he left without saying goodbye." "But sweetheart, he left in the middle of the night." "He's rude. You don't leave without saying goodbye. You know what? I hope they find him. He's rude and he's horrible." And she runs like a madwoman out of the kitchen. But then she feels bad and she cries harder. "Oh, Grandma, don't let them find him. Please don't let them find him." Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it.